I'd like to explain the basic terms of Ichimoku. Ichimoku is a Japanese term meaning at a glance. It was developed by the Japanese in the 1930s. At a glance, you can look at a chart and tell what's happening with the stocks. In this case, 1 year, Caterpillar has had a down move and an up move in a macro sense. Let's look at the individual terms. We have the ken-sen, the kijun-sen, the chikou span, and then we have the two components of the cloud, the kumo. Its upper span, or its upper layer A, and its lower span B. The kijun-sen, the tenkan-sen, is not a moving average. It's a 9-period moving indicator. It takes the last 9 candles, takes the midpoint between the high and the low, and plots that value on the same axis as the current day's candle. The kijun-sen is a 26-period moving indicator. It takes the high and the low of the last 26 candles, takes the midpoint between those two, plots it on the same axis as today's candle, and gives you the kijun-sen, which is orange. The tenkan-sen is blue. The chikou span is a 26-period lagging indicator. It's drawn at the close of the candle and represents the mid-price of the current candle, plotted 26 points behind. So it's only based on today's movement, taking the high and the low and the midpoint and plotting it 26 periods behind, and since this is a daily chart, 26 days behind. If this is a 5-minute chart, it would be 26 5-minute periods behind. The kumo, or the cloud, has 2 components, the upper span A, the lower span B. Unlike the chikou, which is plotted 26 points behind, the lower and upper spans are plotted 26 points ahead of today's candle. The upper span, and in this case the upper span is plotted lower, and I'll explain that in a second, but the upper span A is the average, or the midpoint, between the tenkan-sen and the kijun-sen, plotted 26 points ahead. Kumo span B takes the last 52 candles, high and low, the midpoint of those 52 candles, and plots it 26 points ahead, creating that point. We now have the cloud extended 1 additional point with a top and a bottom identified. The colors indicate reversal. Yellow tells you that the upper span is on top, the lower span is on the bottom. Red tells you that span A is on the bottom, span B is on the top. So that when you have a reversal of these 2 values, it potentially indicates a reversal in trend in the stock. I'm not going to explain any examples. That'll come in a following video. I wanted to keep this short and just give you the explanation of the various terminology, and those are the only terms in Ichimoku that you need to know.